Okay, so we're doing Grandpa's tapes again, sent by Carrie Marquardt. This is the third tape. It's titled Mr. Steak's Competitive Edge. Help Beautify America. Smile. Jim Mather, 1276. It's a white and red tape. 59 minutes. Britton, Kennedy, Davis, Thompson. So it's December 1976.
Greetings. This tape, entitled Help Beautify America, Smile. And you're going to enjoy the four people that are participating on this tape. First of all, we have Steve Kennedy from Bismarck, North Dakota, Mr. Steak. Bonnie Britton from Pontiac.
This is Grandpa's voice, FYI. It's a little distorted from age, but that's Grandpa.
Another one of our lovely, I can say that because she's a female, lovely managers, Julie Davis, a UAL stewardess, United Airlines stewardess, and you're really going to enjoy her approach to this also. And Mr. Dale Thompson, our Vice President of Franchise Sales in our Denver office, and I believe you'll enjoy his unusual approach to this beautifying America. On the line this morning, we have Bonnie Britton from Pontiac, Michigan. Good morning, Bonnie.
Good morning, Jim. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Thank you. Same.
Bonnie, would you share with us a little bit about your family?
Sure. I'm married with two daughters. The eldest is 15 and in the 10th grade. The youngest is 13 and in the 7th grade. Both doing very well and actually anxious to go to work.
Is that right?
That makes me very happy. Yeah.
Right. Have either one of them ever worked in the restaurant?
The oldest has, and she's been doing it on and off now intermediately for maybe 8 weeks.
8 weeks?
Well, pardon?
8 weeks, you say?
About 8 weeks, and she does very well. She's very impressed with what she feels she can put forth to whatever, the guest or the restaurant operation, or so I think maybe, but then of course she's had 6 years of this in her system,
right,
without having worked it.
I think it's great though that a young person has an opportunity to work with adults and find out they can serve adults. Bonnie, what did you do prior to getting involved in Mr. Steak?
Not really a lot, except try to be a good housewife and homemaker.
Well, great.
Raised two daughters.
Right.
My real first job occupation was this since I'm married. And it was through friends that just wouldn't leave me alone until I came for an interview. She pestered me until I came here for an interview.
Is that right?
And I finally came, and one thing led to another, and here I am.
When was that, Bonnie?
That was in July of 1970.
July 1970. When did you go to work there?
That week, the next week, really, probably.
Is that right? Well, now, how long have you been in management?
Oh, 5 years.
5 years.
Date and times I don't have exactly, but, you know.
Yeah, I know that you'll remember very vividly how I rebelled at a female manager.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you probably remember that.
Yeah.
And probably John remembers it well, too.
Yeah.
Okay, Bonnie, what could you share with us and the rest of our associates around the country as it has to do with this theme, Help Beautify America, Smile?
Well, I'll tell you, Jim, I talked with some of my staff on this, and we really did it probably mostly on a one-to-one basis. And just to grasp an idea these younger people have toward what they are here and what they should project as to this whole restaurant operation and the guests that come here. We really believe sincerely, and I try to instill this into everyone, because this is my belief, that since we are part of America, of Mr. Steak restaurants throughout these United States, people remember all guests from whether it is vacations or if a man is a traveling businessman and he eats in a Mr. Steak restaurant in another state, And if that smile can be wherever, and none of us really should be better than the other. We should all want to groom and be top-notch, as good as each other. And even my staff here feel that if they smile at somebody and project some warmth, that's really what people remember. And I try to tell them, and I honestly believe, that we leave a definite impression on people, even if it's maybe toward the end of the week and they've visited with some friends. Maybe a gentleman had lunch here, and he visited with some friends, he and his wife, on the weekend. Possibly he never mentioned his Mr. Steak lunch if he had it at this restaurant one given lunch day of that week. But he didn't mention it until that evening when somehow somebody brought up a luncheon engagement they may have had. And then he told of an experience he had in a Mr. Steak restaurant. And I think it's really vitally important because each contact each guest has here with each member of this staff, we leave a little something with them. I think they take a little something with them. They remember a little whatever about that waitress, or how that steak was prepared, or if they walk past, which we haven't opened galley yet, if there were nice young people in there, really performing properly.
Do you have any other examples or suggestions for our associates from your experiences?
Yeah, I can share one with you that has gone through my mind. Oh, the last number of hours I've thought about this, and she's very near and dear to me. I'll condense it as much as possible. A young girl that works for me as a waitress. She is nearly 20 years old, now presently going to Pontiac Business Institute and working here as a waitress. And very nice. In my total 6 years with this Mr. Steak restaurant, I have never, ever had a more complimented waitress. Never. Never. I'm astounded at what people say. And she has all these qualifications. It's beautiful what she has that is sincere and real. And one day she came here telling me that she'd like to speak with me for a moment. She had gathered some information on a member of her family that she just had to talk with me about, and it was, to her misfortune at the time, her mother needed open heart surgery. So in the process of it all, they had first thought they could perform this surgery, and then they thought they could not, and she worked through this stressing time because her normal life pattern must go on. And one evening, dinner had slowed down. It was a weekend evening, Friday or Saturday. Someone came and the hostess came and got me to tell me that there were guests at our cash register complaining quite heavily about the waitress that waited on them and her attitude. So I went out and greeted them with a hello and a smile and asked them would they explain to me what happened. And they said this girl was so very, very, very rude. They had never, ever been treated so badly. And it was this girl I'm telling you about. Her name is Sharon Abner. And now, I know for a fact, that evening she had a hard time smiling, working under this such pressures. And they had their consultations with the surgeon saying that if this was performed, they weren't even really sure she could pull through. So she was really working under a lot of strain. I explained this to the lady that was telling me, and the lady was pretty vehemently telling me about her. She was very angry. And it ended up that guest said when she came back, she would really never ask for her again, but it's nice to know that we can get to know someone so dedicated to living in life, whatever they're in the process of doing. And at that moment, she was here waitressing. She was not smiling outwardly, but she was very tactfully trying to perform her duties in as warm a manner as possible to take care of our guests. And when it was all over, she approached me after the people left and asked me what it was about, and I told her. And she kind of put her arms around me and embraced me and just cried a little. And I know, really, that whatever this lady picked up with, it was probably because of the strain this girl was working under.
Certainly.
But she's just beautiful. And to happily end that story Her mother has had the major surgery. She had it about 7 or 10 days ago. Doing very well. And they say actually it's been successful. She won't even be like she was prior to surgery. So I guess we really do leave a definite effect on people.
I should say, especially with her reputation of normally being your very top waitress as far as the contact with the guest is concerned. Great.
Yes, and like I say, in my 6 years, she is the most complimented waitress I've ever had. It's almost astounding. But you see, she performs and has all of these qualifications and gives them. Just purchased a reader board about 6 months ago. And our area, our market area, and our people that so relate to what is on that sign, it's heartwarming and makes you smile with almost just listening ears and nothing to answer with.
Bonnie, you're associated with John Allman, and of course, I've known John for many, many years as a close personal friend. What would you, I don't want me to put you on the spot here, but what kind of a reaction do you get when you're around John? What kind of an atmosphere does John project?
Well, I think on an ABC basis, total A is one of the most important things that he practices, and that's being so people-minded. Because any situation, whatever it is involved with us, people. And he is so totally for people and for what we're involved in and how they are.
People-oriented.
People-oriented. He is, no matter what it is, whether it's purely a nice conversation between 3 or 4 or 5 staff members, which we try to have now and then, even spontaneously. They're more fun than any.
Okay, then if people-oriented, that would, in John's relationship, then his contact with you would be that you would personally feel his concern about you in your job.
Oh, yes, and all people.
Okay, well, Bonnie Britton in Pontiac, Michigan, we appreciate very much your sharing with us. And please greet your family for us and also your staff.
Okay, I will. Thank you, Jim Mather.
You bet. Bye-bye. From Bismarck, North Dakota, we have Steve Kennedy. Good morning, Steve.
Good morning, Mr. Mather.
Thank you for being willing to share with us on the tape this morning.
Well, that's certainly a pleasure on our part also.
Okay, we have November, and do you have any snow up there?
No, it's crisp 20 degrees here this morning, and we haven't seen snowfall so far this year.
20 degrees. That's cool enough, isn't it?
Oh, yes. It's
Oh, yes.
time to get used to it.
Right. Steve, would you share with us, please, a little bit about your family?
Yes, I'm married. My wife's name is Betty Jean. We have one son, Patrick, age 2. We had another son, Johnny, age 5, who we lost this year, and a little angel in heaven for us now. And we're both very happy. My wife's expecting and due in the early part of March of next year.
Is that right?
Right.
Well, congratulate her for me, will you?
I sure will. Thank you.
That's great. Steve, what did you do prior to becoming involved with Mr. Stake?
Well, I was associated with the J.C. Penney Company for 7.5 years.
And anything prior to that? Were you any schooling particularly, or military or anything along that line?
Well, I was a reservist on active duty for a short time, and I am a college graduate also.
Where did you go to school?
I attended junior college in Bismarck and University of North Dakota, and I was out for a few years, and I finally graduated from Mary College, which is a private 4-year institution in Bismarck here.
Mary College?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What was your degree in?
Business administration.
Biz Ed. Okay. How long ago was it you became acquainted with Mr. Stake?
Oh, just a little over 4 years ago, Mr. Mather.
And were any special conditions attached to that?
Well, not really. I first became acquainted with it when I lived in Colorado, and I left my position with the company I was with and came back here, and Mel Glad, who has an investor group out in this area, contacted me on it, and it all stemmed from there.
Right. Were you originally from Colorado?
No, I'm a Bismarck native here.
Okay, good. Well, Steve, on the topic that we have this morning, it's a little bit nebulous, but we'd like to hear what you might share with us. That's been responsible for your volumes and profits. That again, talking about help beautify America. Smile. Do you have any takeoff along this line that you could share with us?
Oh, I sure do. I'm very happy to see this theme. I think it's a very fitting and appropriate climax to our bicentennial year, and it's something that all of us are blessed with is the smile, and do we know how to use it properly?
Right.
All of us have to have some firm convictions and attitudes that we believe in.
Right.
And I've got a few different philosophies about a smile. In a business sense, I compare it to something that can stump an accountant.
Oh, is that right?
It's something tangible and given to all. And with a little extra effort, it can easily become an intangible asset, that of goodwill. And if that makes your balance sheet look impressive, just imagine. Its value will appreciate rather than depreciate. And
I should say so.
Asset which is converted to cash. But more realistically, it's a common denominator that our guests and the public associate with success, and we create a most favorable first impression by virtue of smiling.
Right.
And we fulfill one of our guests' most primary needs.
In other words, the guest isn't coming in there just to he may think he's coming in there to satisfy the stomach, but there's something more that he's really looking for, right?
Oh, absolutely. And it's just a little something extra, especially if we have a new guest. And we welcome them very friendly, and he's just really impressed. They, as a rule, come into restaurants to eat, and they expected to be seated and get their food, and that's all the contact they have. But that isn't true in the Mr. Steak system. I've got a poem which I've carried in my wallet for over 10 years. It was in Ann Landers, called The Beauty of a Smile.
Really? Share it with us, please.
I'll be happy to. A smile costs nothing, but its value is priceless. It enriches the one who gives it. It impoverishes him not. It happens in a flash, but the memory may last for days. No one is so rich that he can get along without it. No one is so poor he can afford not to give it. A smile generates happiness in the home and goodwill in business because it says, I like you, you pleasure me. If you meet an acquaintance or a friend who is too busy to give you a smile, leave one of yours. No one needs a smile so much as a person who has none to give. And I really think if you honestly believe in these things, they make a world of difference in your life and your day-to-day living. I get up every morning, and whether I've had a good night's sleep or a short one, I look forward to a new day. It's basically a good morning, world. What do you have to offer me today?
That's great. That's great. Do you have any particular methods of training that accentuate this with your staff?
Well, what we do here, I have a waitress who also works as a hostess who is in charge of training all of my waitresses. And she's been here for 2.5 years and just really does an excellent job at it. And this frees me up a lot more, but I will take every new girl and try to sit down and visit with them for a minimum of 15 minutes and relay these things to them.
Uh-huh.
And one thing at the point of interview with all prospective staff members, the things that we try to get out of them are to see how sincere they are, their attitudes, personality, what their involvements are in outside activities in school and so forth. And then I usually ask them if they've ever dined in a Mr. Steak. We have to remember that primarily we're in the people business, and we give service and sell food on the side. And another little slogan that I kind of just dreamed up a few days ago when I was thinking about this call from you. And I think there's something you can just do a lot with, and that's called Let's Get Involved with Guests.
Let's get involved with guests.
And if you can smile, you can certainly do that. You've got to maintain a rapport with them, and what's really nice is the personal satisfaction you get from our regular clientele and those guests who come in here from day to day And they greet us as if they're catering to us rather than vice versa.
Yeah, isn't that interesting? That's interesting. I do think we're in a very unique business again, where people at the cash register feel almost compelled to thank you for the food and to make a complimentary remark about the young lady or young gentleman that has just served their meal. It's very unusual, when somebody's paying for something, to end up thanking that person that you're buying from.
Oh, right, but that sure makes your day a little bit better, and in our system we see that so often with our guests saying thank you to us.
Right. Have you any examples, Steve, of the results of either a smiling face or just the opposite?
Well, several of them that come to mind quite readily. I was out shopping for furniture the other night, and the general manager of the store came up to me and said, "Say, I just want to tell you, out of your business, that you have the finest restaurant that I've dined in this town. And the thing that really impresses me is the friendly atmosphere and the type of help you have." And, that just really gives you a warm feeling to hear that from somebody.
I should say so.
The thing that we can all, I believe, do a better job of is taking advantage of the dissatisfied guest.
Right.
There's no reason why anytime we have a complaint, that person will not leave this restaurant happy, even if we have to pick up the tab on it.
Right.
And, I think as all of us grow, we learn to take advantage of this. What's really amazing is, especially in the upper Midwest, I think the inner relationship of guests that we have in our restaurants. I can walk into a restaurant in Fargo, North Dakota, or St. Cloud, even Minneapolis, and most likely I'm going to visually know a customer a guest that I many times see in my own restaurant. And they basically find that most of the stores in our system are very alike, especially in terms of the service and the type of waitresses we have, and that they're friendly.
Right.
It's something that just gives us repeat business. One thing that's been most effective for us is the use of Christmas cards that we send out. It's a reader board slogan that you shared with us a few years ago, "Happy Birthday, Lord Jesus."
Right.
We are closed the 24th and 25th of December always, and this year with Christmas being on a Saturday, we're going to be closed the 24th through the 26th. I run at least a half a page ad in the paper with this, "Happy Birthday, Lord Jesus." And it is just unreal, the response we get. Telegrams, long-distance phone calls from people who call. I can't believe this.
You actually receive telegrams?
Yes, sir. And on the average, one long-distance phone call a day, and people cannot believe that we are expressing this viewpoint that we believe in the true meaning of Christmas rather than the commercialism, and want to just increase our volume during the holiday season.
Hey, that's wonderful.
And this puts smiles on their faces. It puts smiles on our staff. It's just pleasing to everyone.
Anything else?
Yes, it's just been a fantastic year for us out here. We're blessed with a wonderful staff, wonderful guest, and we're in the process of building a second Mr. Steak restaurant in Bismarck, which we are looking at a completion date of about February 1st with. So we're all very enthused and excited about that.
Well, great. You're involved in the second unit then?
Yes, sir.
Well, great. Do you have a manager chosen yet for that?
Yes, Rick Doctor, who has been my assistant manager here for the last 3 years, has been approved by Mr. Steak Incorporated, and he'll be taking over the managership of the new store.
Hey, that's really great. It'd be good to have some additional fellowship there, won't it?
Oh, absolutely.
Great. Well, Steve Kennedy and Bismarck, North Dakota, we thank you very much for sharing with us, and ask you to please greet Betty Jean for us, and also Patrick and your staff. And we look forward to hopefully getting up and visiting your restaurant and that new restaurant when it gets opened.
Well, thank you, Mr. Mather, and it's been a pleasure visiting with you. And I might also add that there are still a good many guests who ask, what was the name of that gentleman from Mr. Steak who spoke to the Christian Women's Club a few years ago?
That gray-haired, chubby old fella, huh?
We remember you very well, and you just did one outstanding job of creating goodwill for the name of Mr. Steak in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Thank you, Steve. We praise the Lord for that.
Well, you're welcome, Mr. Mather. It's been a pleasure visiting with you.
All righty. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
A few years ago, the railroads, and also the bus companies, but mainly the railroads, were some of the most influential and most powerful and the richest industries in the United States, and would be so today, except for the fact, in hindsight, we now recognize that they took a narrow point of view of their industry and said that they were in the railroad business or in the bus business. If they would have had a different point of view and said that they were in the transportation business, as the airplane was invented, they would have developed the airlines, and today the railroads would also have owned the airlines. Well, the airlines, as all of us know, have captured the business, and especially the transportation business of people. And they've done a beautiful job. Some of the best trained people in the world are with the airlines. With that thought in mind, we wanted to see if we could tap in on a little of their training. And with the Flight Training Center being right here in Denver, I called over and talked to Mr. Bill Thomas, the Flight Training Director, and asked him if he'd be willing to help us in sharing with you on this tape a little bit about their own training program. He was very kind in his expression to want to help us to become even better in serving our guests. And when he realized we weren't going to be taping immediately, he said, why don't you let me take a look at whomever we have from coast to coast, since you'll be taping this anyway by long distance, and we'll try to find the best person possible for you to have on this tape. Within a week or two, Mr. Don Canalti, their public relations manager, gave me a call and said, we've chosen the person, and we feel that it'd be best for you to talk to one of our best trained stewardesses who is really right on the firing line, which is the same kind of thing that we think about when we call you as our franchised associates and staff in the field. This young lady is 11 years with United Airlines and is presently also going back to college to become a trial attorney. And her name is Julie Davis, and she's on the line. Good morning, Julie.
Thank you, sir. I'm very glad to join you.
Well, thank you, Julie. Julie, would you give us a little background about your family?
I am a native of Albuquerque, New Mexico. Have been working for United for about 11 years. I'm still single, trying to get back into college, do some graduate work. Have enjoyed my association with United tremendously, and certainly looking forward to sharing some thoughts with your employees.
Well, we are too. Julie, I understand you were a supervisor for, a year with the airlines?
Yes.
Right. And how long is the training period with the airlines as far as stewardess is concerned?
When I was trained, the training time in Chicago at our flight training center, stewardess flight training center, was 5.5 weeks. That's now been reduced to 4 no-frills weeks.
No-frills week.
Yes.
Okay. Do they have any follow-up training for you?
Oh, yes. We spend a great deal of time on an annual basis, in-house training, service enhancement, polishing and perfecting our skills, in addition to a full 8-hour day annually of safety review, including a lot of hands-on training, evacuation review.
Well, Julie, what could you share with us along this idea that, as you know, the topic of this poster says, Help Beautify America, Smile. What could you share with our associates that would perhaps help them?
Basically, I've given the subject a lot of thought over the years. It's a very important part of dealing with the public. And I have some opinions. They're my own, and some of your people might disagree, but it seems to me that the smile is more than a facial contortion. The dictionary has a description of it that's 3 or 4 sentences long, basically describing the movement of the facial muscles, the corners of the mouth. And it's a great deal more than that. It's sort of an outward symbol of a very complex series of thoughts internally, and it's a very important part of nonverbal communication. A smile can say a great deal. It's more than it appears to be. And you read a smile in the context where it's presented, and you interpret it in any number of ways. For example, I can think of several kinds of smiles. The smiles of a beauty contestant, for example, with glazed eyes, and she smiles until her teeth are dry, and then she smiles some more, and it has no significance.
Yes.
A person under a great deal of strain, and that is a facial contortion. Then, for example, you think about a car salesman who's got a cream puff on his hands that he's very anxious for you to buy. And that's a smile that says, buy this car and don't look too hard at the transmission.
By cream puff, I get a feeling that maybe you've had some experience along that line.
Oh, yes, I think probably everyone has at some time in their life. Some of us have bought them, some of us have not, depending on how sophisticated your interpretation of the information you're getting.
Right.
Please turn the tape over.
All right. We're going to turn the tape over.
Of course, we're all familiar with the kinds of smile that you see on television ads. When you know it's not sincere, a grinning housewife is attired in a lovely gown, waxing her floor. It's not a pleasurable experience, and there's a credibility problem there. So basically, a smile has to be a sincere expression. It's not something that can be forced or faked or imitated. People are very quick to spot an insincere expression. It's a very important tool in dealing with people, a very serious way of communicating.
Great. Does United Airlines themselves, do they spend very much time in the initial training talking about the importance of the smile or not?
They spend a lot of time with us on what is called empathy training, an understanding of the situation that you're in, an understanding of your own feelings at the moment. I would think in handling a situation, there are probably 3 steps to reasonable dealing with strangers, the public, the guests who walk through the doors of your restaurant, the passengers who walk through the doors of our airplanes. And the first step would be to evaluate. You look at the clothes this person is wearing, their expression, their tone of voice is an important part. Every person who enters a public accommodation carries a certain amount of emotional baggage, and the sensitive employee pays attention to those things and evaluates them and understands them. Do they seem anxious or worried, upset? If you smile at them, that smile says, I care. Do they appear to be happy, celebrating? We see a lot of newlyweds on the airplane. If you smile at them, it says, I'm sharing. I care about your happiness. I'm glad to be here with you. And if there's no expression at all, particularly, a smile says, welcome. Glad you're here. What can I do for you? It's an expression of hospitality. I can think of one instance in particular. There's a woman on a flight of mine recently who appeared somewhat distraught. I gave her a very tentative smile, and she explained to me that she was accompanying her mother's casket home for a funeral. Her mother was a very old lady, and she died peacefully, and this woman was thinking about her mother and what a fine person she was and what a good life they led. And a small bit of encouragement from me led to a 30-minute conversation between this woman and myself about her mother and the kind of life she led and what kind of person she was. It was a fascinating conversation. Very interesting and very valuable for me, and very good for this woman also. And the result was that we were both better for the encounter. I don't know this woman. I'll probably never see her again, but I won't forget her. And
She probably won't forget you either, Julie.
it was a good experience for both of us. She wanted to talk talk to someone. She wanted to share her feelings. They were quite overwhelming at that time.
Right.
The second step is to anticipate. There are times when a person does not feel joyous and happy, an employee of any organization. But the mark of a true professional is that you check your own emotional baggage at the door when you come to work.
That's pretty good.
And there's a great deal of satisfaction to be had in really doing a slick job. On very short flights, I don't have a great deal of time to visit with my passengers and get to know who they are and where they come from. But I derive a lot of satisfaction from giving them a really polished, professional meal and beverage service. A person doesn't have to wait for a cup of coffee or ask to have their dishes taken away. I'm there at their elbow. I'm ready. And it gives me a very good feeling. I'm a professional, and I don't need to be reminded of anything. And it gives them a good feeling. She notices my coffee cup is empty. I'm ready to leave now. I would like to have my coat. It's very satisfying, and it's a very pleasurable experience, both for the professional person and for the guest, the person who derives the benefits. And the third step, I would say, is called Where Am I Today?
What was that again?
Where am I today?
Where am I today?
How do I feel? What am I thinking? What is my mood? And then contend with that. Understand it. Express it to yourself, and then check it. Forget it. And be prepared to do your work without allowing your personal state of mind to interfere with that. And be prepared, because the public will always surprise you, and usually pleasurably. And be prepared to have your mood changed by someone who's really in a great mood or ready to cheer you up or tell you something terrific or be complimentary or notice you. There are any number of ways that the people who are your guests respond to your attentions, and it's very satisfying. I think there's nothing more interesting or worthwhile than working with people.
I agree. It's a constant education, isn't it?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Julia, as I was sitting here listening to you, it just brought back to my memory how we talk about the fact that we do not have customers or patrons in Mr. Steak restaurants, that we have guests. And we have one entire tape talking about the psychological impact of the word guest. We never care whether our guests know that we call them guests or not, just so long as they're treated like guests. And we refer back to this as to the guests that come to our home, how we greet them at the door, and how anything we can do to make their stay pleasant and satisfactory, even to the offering of refreshments to them. And also as they leave, we're at the door thanking them for coming in. And we want to develop this to a very professional and, as you say, an empathetic degree in a Mr. Steak restaurant. But you folks in the airlines have us beat all hollow. You very definitely not only meet and greet at the door, at the gate, but as you go aboard, there's another greeting, and immediately trying to help people find their seats and to avoid any confusion and to relieve, as you say, the anxieties. But also as we leave, as we exit your airplane, you girls are there at the door again, thanking us for flying with you and wishing us a good day, as well as after we get off, your gate men are generally on the other end. You do an excellent job along that line.
Thank you.
And we need to do the same thing in our restaurants.
We genuinely appreciate the business that we get. The airline business is very competitive. Everybody has, there are only a certain number of airplanes, certain kinds of airplanes. Everybody has those. Everybody has well-trained pilots. Any number of airlines fly into the different cities that we serve. So what we sell basically is our people. It's the people that we think distinguish United Airlines from other carriers. And we're called the Friendly Skies, and we really think we are. We really work at that. We're glad to have customers anytime. And we're glad to see them, and we want to do what we can to help them, make them comfortable, give them a pleasant experience on the airplane, and encourage them to come back.
Right. Hey, but
we're out of business.
that's right. But just telling them to come back won't bring them back. It's the kind of service they've received that is going to bring them back. Julie, would you mind just recapping very quickly for our associates those 3 steps again?
The 3 steps for nonverbal communication. First, evaluate the people you're going to be dealing with. Examine their expression, their clothes, everything you can notice about them, and respond appropriately.
Okay, that's number 1.
The second step is anticipate, or what I call anticipate. Just be aware of where they are and what their needs might be, and try and beat them to it. Don't allow your guests to sit and wait and have to ask.
Right.
It's very satisfying for everyone concerned if you can anticipate their needs. And the third step I call where am I today, which is to be aware of your own feelings and understand them and respond to them and deal with them, because a true professional never lets his or her personal state of mind or feelings affect the level of their work.
That's where you say check your emotional baggage at the gate.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Okay, that's the third step that you do for yourself.
Yes.
Great. Okay, Julie, what else might you share with us?
Not a lot, really. I think that Mr. Steak is an organization with a number of really fine professional people. Just the existence of this taping program is a sign of a very sensitive management that's paying attention to the needs of the staff in the field. And I think it's a very important contribution to the ongoing polishing of the skills of a professional person. And dealing with the public is not an easy job. We all know that. You never know who's coming through the door, but it certainly seems to me with programs like this, your employees are bound to improve their skills and their understanding.
And Julie, we thank you very much, and we thank United Airlines for sharing with us on this tape this morning.
Pleasure talking with you.
Goodbye, Julie.
Bye-bye.
In the office this morning, as opposed to being on a long-distance call, is my good friend, personal friend, Mr. Dale Thompson, who's our Vice President of Franchise Sales for Mr. Steak. Good morning, Dale.
Good morning, Jim.
Dale, would you share with our associates and their staff members around the country a little bit about your background as far as your family's concerned?
Well, I'm a widower, Jim, for 2 years. Lois and I had 2 daughters. One is married and one soon to be married.
And no grandchildren as yet?
No grandchildren as yet.
As you said before, you're just a little bit
I'm much too young to be a grandfather.
Okay. How about your background? What did you...
Well, I was raised in North Dakota. As you know, in the big town of Max Bass, North Dakota, where I get so much kidding from here in the office. Went on to the college in Minot. After 10 years, I graduated from Minot.
Oh, come on.
It took me a while, but I stuck with it, with a degree in business administration.
Great. What did you do from there? I know you were reared in agriculture, weren't you?
Right. During that time period, went 2 years to college and then was drafted into the Army. Spent 2 years in Indianapolis in the finance corps, and then came out, started farming with my father. Then started college, finished college then in 1959, and went to work for International Harvester Company as a field salesman.
Okay, how did you happen to become involved in Mr. Steak?
I moved from North Dakota to Denver with an insurance company called American Hardware Mutual, and joined a sales club here in Denver called SWAP, and through SWAP met the principals of Mr. Steak. I believe that was our first acquaintance.
Right.
Jim, I started November 1966 with Mr. Steak.
Is that right?
So my 10-year anniversary is this month.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you. Me now, after traveling again, I'm out traveling, approving locations in addition to the franchise sales now. And to me, the smile within the community is the landscaping, the Mr. Steak building within the community, the pride of ownership, how well it's manicured and taken care of.
Well, in other words, the smile isn't just on the face of a human being.
The first smile has to be before you walk in the door. That's that's how well you take care of your property, how it looks when you drive by and drive into it. Prior to the smile of the manager or the...
Well, this is an interesting approach. If I hear what you're saying prior to you ever getting an opportunity to give a physical smile from a human being, or I should say a human smile, there has to be a smile to the general community that's driving by to even welcome them in.
Yes, yes. It's so, pride of ownership is so evident by driving by any business. It's the same as your automobile, your home. And if you don't exhibit that within the community, how does a smile within the restaurant, how can it be a true one?
Right. Well, do you have any recommendations or suggestions on how this smile can best be presented?
Number one, I believe, is keeping the papers, the lot cleaned up. I think that's prime. The building itself painted and neat. The grass and shrubs cut and trimmed and kept clean. And flowers. I live in Arvada, as you know, and there is a Mr. Steak there, and Arv Sandarusi has planted flowers that he has in the spring. I get many comments. My neighbors say that restaurant really looks good with the flowers in there, the tulips for the spring. They recognize it. I hear it more as I travel across the country, and I think probably in so many parts, so many people have done such an excellent job. Tom Gill, for instance, in St. Charles, Missouri, he has just done an excellent job. He should be complimented on it. And in the Minneapolis stores, I've been into a number of them. The grass is always trimmed. You can see the dandelions. The flowers. I'm not referring to dandelions now.
Okay.
In the spring,
they blossom, but those
are not the wild ones. Those ones that we plant intentionally. And it's I get many comments now from people across the country. Your restaurant looks so good. They comment inside and outside.
I'll have to admit to you, I noticed this recently when I say recently, the last few months, that I was up in the Oregon area and visiting the Oregon Mr. Steak restaurants.
Yes.
Boy, you talk about the pride of ownership. It really shows up in those restaurants.
That was just in Dave Henish's unit recently, within the last couple of months, and his restaurant was, the grass was trimmed, and you can see that it's being taken care of. You can see a little pride and within the organization. We comment so much on the inside. I think we ought to start doing more on the outside.
Well, Dale, maybe this point that you're bringing up as far as the exterior maintenance of the building and also the landscaping, maybe it should fit in with this new program that Operations Department is developing, which is called a Standards of Excellence Award program, and make it part of the award.
Yes, I would agree.
Talking about a smile from our stockholders' point of view, could you share with us a little bit and our associates as to what it looks like for the development and expansion of Mr. Steak across the country?
Well, we're beautifying the landscape a little better, Jim. We have 10 restaurants under construction now, ranging from Duluth, Minnesota, Lancaster, Pennsylvania, Brainerd, Minnesota, Grand Rapids, Michigan, Bismarck, North Dakota, Fort Wayne, Indiana, Menasha, Wisconsin just opened, Spokane, Washington, Alcoa, Tennessee, and Maryville, Indiana. So we're spreading them out across the country again, and we should have 2 or 3 more break ground this fall with an additional 10 or plus next year. So
Great.
Very optimistic. Looks very good.
Great. You mentioned one there that I believe that Henry Singer's standing in.
Henry took over a restaurant in what we used to call Appleton. It's actually Menasha, Wisconsin. Brought Mr. and Mrs. Ralph Halfley in as managers and have just done an excellent job in reopening the restaurant volume-wise.
Dale, from what you're saying here, then, it appears as though we are back in more of a growth posture than we've been in the past few years.
Yes, we have many more franchisees or existing franchisees in addition to some outside people that I'm starting to work with. In Eastern Pennsylvania, for instance, we should have 1 or 2 more groundbreakings there.
But does this mean that you're advertising for franchise sales or anything along that line?
No, we still work right through the restaurants as our prime source, our write-in the comments of the restaurants. Mm-hmm. And as all managers know or should know, if they are responsible for the sale of a franchise, they earn $500. Mm-hmm. And I have sent out quite a few $500 checks.
What's happening in Canada?
We are to break ground there yet this fall with the second unit in Winnipeg.
Dale, as far as the real estate is concerned, you appear to be doing something in the real estate inn now as far as working on sites. What is this?
Site approval for the franchisee.
What kind of qualifications do you feel have helped in this regard?
Well, 10 years with the company, I do have my real estate. I picked up my real estate license this year.
Well, Dale, how many franchise sales exist right now that are either have not developed sites or started construction?
I believe I have 44 franchises now outstanding that are not in business.
Well, now, what are holding these up from getting going?
Land and building primarily. Mm-hmm. There is many more of these people are on an aggressive mode where they had not been in the last 2 years because of the general economy, financing, and so forth. But many of them now are aggressively seeking locations, which is very encouraging.
Great. So if they suddenly found the proper recipe for getting in the ground, well, we could have 40 more restaurants in a fairly quick period of time.
Yes.
Right.
Even Bob King in Eugene, Oregon has bought another franchise.
Even Bob King?
Even Slippery Bob King.
Slippery Bob King is finally going to break ground on a number 2 restaurant.
Number 2 restaurant.
Well, I tell you, they're such beautiful people. I wish they had a dozen of them,
yes.
Quite frankly.
Yes.
And taking a look at the managers that he has in reserve and trained, I think he could almost equip that many restaurants right now.
I agree.
Well, Dale Thompson, Vice President of Franchise Sales, Mr. Steak Incorporated, thank you very much for sharing with us. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Enjoyed it.
You know, I get a kick out of the ABC's Today program where Rona Barrett comes on, and she signs off by saying, "Keep thinking those good thoughts." And if you listen to what she'd been talking about, they weren't good thoughts at all. And I can't help but think, and repeating ourselves again, about what Professor William James said when he said, by regulating the action which is under control of our will, we can indirectly control our feelings which are not under control of our will. In other words, he's saying, act the way you want to feel, and then pretty soon you won't be acting anymore, you will actually be feeling. And the scriptures give us a clue on this. When in Proverbs 15:13, it says, "A merry heart maketh a cheerful countenance." And none of us enjoy the down countenance. And in fact, you know, a smile takes an ordinary face and in many cases makes it radiant, and in some cases makes it even handsome and beautiful. So we recommend that all of us try to pass on a little joy with a smile on our face. You know, Julie on the tape reminded us that most of the airlines use the same equipment. And we say this in Mr. Steak, that most restaurants can build a better building or as good a building, can buy as good of equipment, can buy as good a quality product in our USDA choice product. And the same as Julie says about United Airlines, the same thing we say about Mr. Steak. The difference is going to come in the service, and that service can only come through us on a man-to-man or a woman-to-woman basis with our guests. May I recommend that all of us in our home office and our field staff, as well as the franchised associates and their staff, that we start asking questions that are related to our business. Ask them of our friends, relatives, neighbors, our acquaintance. And one of the standard questions that I've been asking lately, and I've been getting some interesting results, is, what attracts you back to your favorite restaurant? What is it that you like about your favorite restaurant? And start keeping track of them. We feel in most cases you're going to find out, the same as I've been finding out, it is a service. The food and the quality of the food and the preparation of the food is all important. The cleanliness is important. But the thing that they remember the longest is the service. The gentleman that does the taping for that you'll be receiving on this tape and of the past tapes that you received, Mr. John Sundberg, just recently received a telephone marketing interview that lasted about 30 minutes from an independent survey company, and they were asking questions, realizing he was a Volvo owner. The questions all related to how do you feel about your Volvo? Now, these were questions pro and con. But what they were trying to find out is, what did he like about it and what did he dislike? Hopefully that they may be changing some of the things they dislike, or at least they would be pointing these up in their marketing program, one way or the other. It's been fun being with you again on this tape. And until we have an opportunity to meet again next month, we continue to wish you God's blessing, and that He will bless and direct your life according to His most perfect will.
All right, that was Grandpa. I wanted to make one note here. This is Lucas, his grandson. It's 4 August 2026. It's a Tuesday. One of the people that he interviewed mentioned that he had a 10-year anniversary that month, and he started working there in November 1966. That would seem to indicate that that recording was done November 1976. The tape says 12/76, December 1976. So I'm not sure when the taping was done, except for we can be confident it was somewhere between November and December 1976. All right, that's it. So this is Mr. Steak's Competitive Edge, Help Beautify America, Smile, Jim Mather, 12/76, 59 minutes, a red and white tape. It's got a red stripe, red circle. Britton, Kennedy, Davis, Thompson typed in there. This is the third tape from Carrie Marquardt sent here. All right.